Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley. If you are new here, it is really good to have you. If you are not new here, welcome back. Today's video is going to be kind of my intermittent fasting story. I'm just going to kind of give you the basics, the rundown of why I'm doing intermittent fasting and the benefits that I've seen from it. But before we jump into the video, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel, hit that red button down below. If you enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out so much. Also, you can find me over on Instagram at Joyful Chaos Mama. And I think that's it. Without any further ado, let's get into the video. I had heard of intermittent fasting a few different places. You know, it's kind of been a buzz thing around the keto diet that I've seen a lot of people doing lately. I know my sister's been practicing some form of intermittent fasting since earlier this year. My favorite Instagrammer, one of my favorite Instagrammers, Lisa's Pieces. I will link her Instagram down below, you guys. Not only does she make gorgeous jewelry, but she's hilarious. Anyway, she has mentioned a few times that she practices intermittent fasting. And anyway, I saw a few months ago a friend of mine post, not a few months ago, 2 months ago? How long have I been fasting? I think it's been about 2.5 months, 2 months. Anyway, a friend of mine posted that she had been doing intermittent fasting for a few months and had lost like 25 pounds and like 3 clothing sizes and was just feeling amazing and incredible. And I decided that it might be time for me to like actually look into this and see what this whole intermittent fasting thing was about. Because I've known people in my life who practice fasting for religious reasons, and then I always just kind of associated intermittent fasting with the keto diet, which I just haven't really had any interest in myself. And so I just kind of, I guess, put intermittent fasting in a place where I was like, that's maybe not really for me. But the way my friend spoke about it when she posted on Facebook really piqued my interest. So I started doing some researching and some Googling and some reading about intermittent fasting and looking at the sources that she recommended. And I was blown away. Like I thought, oh, well, you just do this so you can lose weight. Like it's just a way to lose excess body fat. But it is so much more than that. The health benefits of intermittent fasting are incredible, absolutely incredible. There's this fancy little word, autophagy, cell recycling, and getting rid of the bad stuff in your body. I'm going to post some like articles and research and stuff in the description box. I don't want to get into too much of the science and stuff just because we'd be here all day. But if you are someone who is interested in intermittent fasting, wow, that was difficult to say. I will have some links in the description box for you so you can further your research. I do believe the most important part of intermittent fasting is the clean fast. I know that there are different programs that say as long as it is a calorie-free beverage like Diet Coke, you can have that during your fast. Or if it's under 50 calories, you can have it during your fast. Or. I fully believe that the magic of intermittent fasting is in a true fast, which means in your fasting window, you drink water, black coffee, or black or green tea. No sweeteners, no flavors, no nothing. Fasting is supposed to be boring. We are so used to being entertained all the time. Like we are so used to just being able to give ourselves that dopamine shot whenever we feel like it, whether it's through food or beverage or our phones or whatever, that we are just not good at not having every experience in our life be a pleasurable experience. And I'm saying I mean me, y'all. I'm preaching to myself here. I know that other fasting things will say like, well, you can have, like I said, you can have this or you can have that. But scientific research has shown that even a flavor in your mouth tells your body that you are consuming food, and it releases insulin, which is a fat storage hormone. So drinking a Diet Coke, while it doesn't have calories, it still causes insulin to release, which will then cause glucose to lower, and then you get a blood sugar crash, and then you're white knuckling it through your fast. And once you start releasing insulin, you've broken the fast, you stop getting the benefits of autophagy. Anyway, I'm getting more scientific than I wanted to, for real. I'm just gonna put all this stuff in the comments down below. not in the comments, in the description box, so you can do some more research on the scientific part. I'm sorry that you can hear my toddler yelling. She wants to be upstairs where I am. I am doing this right now. So anyway, I will leave that stuff in the description box instead of getting into all of that. But I'm telling you, it's fascinating. Like just reading about autophagy, about cancer and Alzheimer's prevention, about reversing type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, all of these things is just incredible. So I was sold. I was sold. I started my first fast that night. I downloaded the Zero app on my iPhone. It's a free app. It just keeps track of how long you've been fasting. You can set it for different fasts. No, this isn't sponsored. You can do a circadian rhythm, a 16, 18, 18, 6, 24, 36-hour fast, or a custom fast. Anyway, I use that just to keep track of my fasts. I have completed, when I close out my fast today, when I open my eating window today, I will have completed 68 fasts. So I've been doing it for just over 2 months. So before I get into the benefits I've seen, I just want to explain really quickly. A few of you have asked when I posted on Instagram about fasting and breastfeeding. I cannot tell you if it's right for you. I'm not a medical professional. I can tell you that I did not start until Ruby was 3 months old. My milk supply was well established, and I know from my own personal history that I do not have a finicky milk supply. My milk supply stays pretty constant. The only thing that has ever really affected my supply is the dip that I get once my cycle returns. Right before my period comes, I will have a supply dip. So that's a hormonal thing. But fasting definitely works on healing hormones and adjusting things, so that could work in your favor or against, kind of depending on how your body's milk supply works. So do your research. You can even start slow with a circadian rhythm fast, or just a 12-12 or a 13-11. You kind of work your way up and find your sweet spot of what protects your milk supply but also helps to give you some of those fasting hours. So let's talk about the benefits that I've seen from fasting in myself. And I'm also going to tell you a little bit about Peter, because he started intermittent fasting about 4 days after I did. First things first, I was able to break my addiction to flavored coffee creamer and sweet coffees. I decided that I was going to start fasting, like I said, that first night. And I knew that that meant the next morning I was drinking black coffee, because I wanted the clean fast, because I really wanted the health benefits of fasting. And so I just started drinking black coffee. It's only as hard as you want to make it. If you don't like black coffee, then don't drink coffee. Drink water or tea instead. But I love my iced cold brew and my cup of hot black coffee in the morning. I look forward to it. So I broke my addiction to sugary coffee drinks, which that right there is a huge bonus to me. Like, that's a big deal. I think I've had 2 sweetened coffee drinks in the last 2 months, and I made myself a latte at home and put just a touch of vanilla coffee syrup in my coffee, but it was a little too sweet. It wasn't all that enjoyable. As a matter of fact, like 5 days after I had started fasting, I decided I would try a little bit of my coffee creamer in my coffee during my eating window, and I had to dump it out. It was too sweet. It was disgusting. I could not drink it. So that right there, big deal for me. I was weighing in at about, still, let me think. Let me do the mental math. I was about 14 to 15 pounds over my pre-pregnancy weight, which is about 23, 24 pounds over my ideal weight, the weight at which I feel best in my body. As of today, I am at my pre-pregnancy weight. I've lost 15, 14 pounds, right about there, in the last 2 months through intermittent fasting. But what I've noticed even more than the pounds themselves is the way my body has changed, because intermittent fasting and autophagy and lowered insulin levels increase the amount of human growth hormone in your body. So it's improved muscle and bone density. Even if you don't work out, you will still get those benefits and improvements. but it causes things to shift and change in your body. So while I am at my pre-pregnancy weight, my clothing fits differently. My shorts aren't as tight around my waistline. My tops, like, that fit before, like, hang off of me. I guess that's the one bad thing about intermittent fasting is I'm going into a no spend month and I need new clothes really badly. I'm just having to wear like the same things over and over because they're the only things that I have that fit and like look halfway decent. And if I continue to lose weight, I'm going to probably need one more size down, which I haven't worn in forever. So I'm just gonna thrift store shop, not in June because I'm not spending money in June. I did a whole video about that, but I'll work with what I've got for the next month or so and then buy new clothes later. Anyway, it's not really a downside. That was tongue in cheek, but I've lost all of my baby weight and my body continues to change shape. I have almost no cellulite on my thighs anymore. It's almost completely gone. I don't work out, you guys. I just don't. I'm not a kind of person who's like, I love getting up and working out in the morning. Memory card was full. I really need to empty that thing. Like I was saying, I don't work out, but my body feels so much better. I have so much more energy. I have much more clarity. I'm sleeping better. I think I've only had 1 or 2 nights where I woke up at 3 or 4 a.m. and couldn't get back to sleep. And that used to happen to me multiple times a week. Another big thing, springtime in the Carolinas, usually I would be sneezing my face off. And I have not had any allergies in the last 2 months. None. Which is a really big deal when you're used to feeling kind of stuffy and miserable. But the reduced inflammation in my body and the healing that's happening internally means that I'm not suffering from allergies right now. I'm also learning a lot of things about my body and what feels best in my body. I will tell you right now, if you want to do intermittent fasting, people always say, okay, well, so if I clean fast and I just have water and coffee, then what do I eat in my eating window? Whatever you want. It can work with a vegan lifestyle, keto, regular old American diet, pizza and soda and chips and all of those things. I eat whatever sounds good to me in my window. I will tell you though that after the first couple of weeks, my body started craving better foods. And I was able to really take notice of how certain foods make my body feel. So when I have sugary foods, I feel like junk. Sometimes I decide it's still worth it and I want to eat cake on Jasper's birthday and things like that, but sugary food doesn't make me feel good. I live for my smoothies that I drink every single day now. I buy them in the freezer section at Walmart. It's like pineapple, mango, spinach, and avocado. And I might throw in half a banana if I want a little extra sweetness, but I don't even have to have that in there. So it makes me crave better foods for my body. There's this thing that can happen called appetite correction. Once your appetite hormones get back in balance, leptin and ghrelin, I think they're called. The things that tell you you're hungry and the things that tell you you're full. We are so used to eating past those satiety signals that we just ignore them completely. But now I am better able to recognize when I've had enough to eat. And I want to stop because if I don't stop, it hurts. And I don't want to be in pain. And anyway, I just feel like it's improved my relationship with food as well. If I'm feeling stressed out, then I might be like, oh, I just want to go in the kitchen and eat. But if I'm in my fasting window, I tell myself, you're just stressed right now. You don't need to eat emotionally. You can just pray or take some deep breaths or journal or just move through this without having to put food in your mouth. So I feel like it's improved my relationship with food. I just think there's so many benefits to it. Anyway, I could ramble on and on. So my fasting and eating window is minimum 16-8, which means that I fast for a minimum of 16 hours, usually from around 5 to 6 p.m. until the next day. So I'm going to bed on a not completely empty stomach, but I'm also not overly full. I'm not snacking in the evenings. I stop eating around 5 or 6. And then the next morning, my window will open between 10, 11, but it's not like I'm rushing to eat as soon as my eating window opens. I eat when I'm hungry and I'm ready to eat. And then for 6 to 8 hours, I eat when hungry and stop when I'm not. And that's that. It's very, very simple. Some people prefer to start with a smaller fasting time and kind of work their way up. I jumped right in at 16, and in the last 68 days have not had a fasting time under 16 hours. I've gone up to as long as 21 or 22 hours, but I try not to make that a regular thing. I'm not a very large person. I don't have a lot of fat stores to pull from. I do still have fat stores that my body can burn once I'm getting into ketosis and in that fat burning state during my fast, but I also don't want to overdo it. So my fasts are typically 16 to 18 hours, and my eating windows are 5 to 8 hours. And I know it doesn't always add up to 24, but it works. You make adjustments. It's your life. You live your life. I also wanted to tell you guys that, like I said, Peter's been doing intermittent fasting with me. Or maybe I didn't say. Did I say? I don't remember. He started about 4 days after I did. He's almost stopped snoring completely. He's no longer having apnea episodes in the middle of the night. His feet and ankles are no longer swollen. His wedding ring is too big and has flown off of his hand multiple times. And he is still at a weight at which those things did not happen other times he's lost weight. I don't know if that makes sense. My husband has struggled with weight loss his entire adult life. And I have his permission to talk about this. He has lost 37 pounds and counting over the last 2 months. His inflammation is so greatly reduced that I don't worry he's going to stop breathing in the middle of the night anymore, which is such a gift to me. He feels so much better. Now he is doing OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. He has plenty of fat stores to pull from for energy, and he is trying to make that one meal as nutritious as possible. And he listens to his body, and once or twice a week, he'll open that up and have 2 meals a day. There is some books and articles that I will link below, like I said. Jen Stevens' book, Delay, Don't Deny, is the first book that I read. There's also a book called The Obesity Code and then The Diabetes Code that talk about fasting and the obesity epidemic and why calories in, calories out is not the answer. Why eating 6 small meals a day is not the answer. I've seen the benefits in our life, and I kind of just want to preach it to the world because it's been so, so good for both of us. And we're both I don't see any reason, I'm technically at a goal weight, so what do? Do I just go back to eating normally? No, why would I do that when I feel so much better? And I know that this is a long-term thing. This is about how I'm gonna feel in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, how I'm gonna have energy for my children and for my grandchildren in the years to come, how I'm hoping to help mitigate some of the effects of just an American lifestyle. We're so used to always having so much and constantly being able to put food in our mouths and numb ourselves with what we eat, and I've done that. I am fortunate in that I simply have a body type that doesn't hold weight like some other people's do, but that doesn't mean that I'm still not negatively affecting my body by living that way. So this is a long haul thing for me. This is a lifestyle for us now. We are committed to this lifestyle. And the other thing that I want to mention that I don't think that I mentioned before is that I believe that fasting in and of itself is truly a biblical principle. And I believe that this is actually the way that our bodies were probably created to exist, in a fed state and in a fasting state. There's spiritual benefits to fasting, absolutely, but I think our bodies were created and designed to be able to heal themselves. But when we are constantly in a fed state, when we wake up and the first thing we do in the morning is drink coffee with sugars or fats, even if you don't have sugar, if you have cream in your coffee or whatever, then you start your day in a fed state, and most of us would eat and snack up until we go to bed at night, and we're not giving our bodies enough time to do the healing that they need to do, because we're spending so much time asking our bodies to be doing the hard work of digesting food. So let's see, is there anything else I wanted to touch on here? I think that's mostly it. So for those of you who have asked on Instagram, how'd you lose the baby weight? This is it. This is it. I typically lose the baby weight in the first year. When I was younger, I had hyperthyroidism after a couple of my babies, and that caused me to lose the weight really quickly, but not in a healthy way. Anyway, I know I've thrown a lot of information at you guys, a lot of talk. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this was informative for you guys. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm not a guru. I'm not a medical expert. This is just something that has made a really big difference in my life and in my husband's life, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I feel good in my body, and I think that that's such an important thing. And my husband is losing weight in a healthy way and feels good in his body, and we're already seeing not just the weight loss benefits, but the true health benefits of intermittent fasting. And I think that that is just such a powerful thing. So let me know if you have any comments, any questions. I will definitely keep you guys posted. But at a certain point, it's just kind of like, this is just kind of how I live my life. So it doesn't seem like such a big deal, but I know it seems really weird at first. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. I will see you again very soon. Bye.